So, welcome Siddharth to this discussion. And first of all, thank you very much for joining me today. Uh,
Yeah.
so, Siddharth, you have completed, you graduated with a Bachelor's of Engineering, Electronics Engineering, right, from KJ Somaya
Yes.
College of Engineering, Mumbai. And
Yes.
then that was in 2020,
That is in 2021.
2021, sorry. And then for a
Yeah.
year, you worked with IIT Bombay on an internship, correct?
Yes. I worked with IIT for a year working on a project. Yes.
Okay. And then 2022, you joined the University of Sheffield in the UK for your
Yeah.
master's in electrical
Yeah. Masters in Electrical and Electronics Engineering.
engineering program, right?
Yes.
Right. So how did you decide that? Because when generally, I mean, this I had asked a student from Somaya itself, whom I spoke to earlier. What was your
Yeah.
motivation behind going to the UK? Because most of your classmates I know were looking at US as a destination. So what was your motivation behind choosing UK as a destination?
So there were a number of reasons why I chose UK to be my place where I do my MS. First reason was basically the work-life balance in UK is much more important. There's much more importance to work-life balance. That was the first reason. The other reason was that the permanent residence situation in US is also in UK is also much better than in the US. It is much more organized, streamlined. It is, as you might know, in US you have a lottery-based system,
Right,
and it
right.
takes a lot of time to get your PR. So I just didn't want to do that at first.
Okay.
I wanted it to be more organized because I would be here for at least for quite a few years. So I was
Okay.
looking into getting a more organized PR structure, and then the other major point was that the MS here most courses here are for 1 year,
Right.
and which is different than the one in US. US has 2 years, and here it is half the time. So if
Okay.
you're ready to work a bit more for that 1 year, you get your MS quite early. So
Right.
that was a major reason that I had for coming to the UK. That
Okay.
the MS would just be 1 year. I would be able to get to work quite sooner. That
Okay.
was one reason. And on another note, I also had quite a few friends here, quite a few friends who had already chosen to come to UK here.
Hmm.
So it was a mixture of all these points that made me choose UK.
Okay. And
Yeah.
how is the University of Sheffield? I mean, how has been your experience at Sheffield?
My experience at Sheffield has been really great so far. I'm still in my second semester, but so far it
Right.
has been really good. The university is really welcoming. It is a world top 100 university, and it
Right.
quite lives up to the name, I would say. Um, specifically with the course is really good. They really focus a lot more on practical experience and practical knowledge, rather than more theoretical based knowledge. They really make you think and understand exactly why you're learning the things that you're learning. They show exactly where you would apply these things in the real world when you eventually go for a job or
Okay.
do anything, where the knowledge that we are giving you right now would be applicable. These are the things that I personally really like during my course, because back during my undergraduate, the things that we did in at least in the undergraduate course were more theoretical. They were more exam oriented rather than, I would say, knowledge oriented. That okay, this is where what we have taught you. This is where it will be used later on, or this is where
Okay.
it is being used right now. At least here they actually give you an example that with regards to PCB design, let's say this is what you're learning and this is how you will use this when
Okay.
you take a job in PCB design, let's say. So
Hmm.
that is something that I really like with regards to my course.
Okay.
um, and in an overall university sense, the university is really supportive. It really wants to listen to what issues you're having during your course. All of those things are really taken care of. Yeah.
Okay. But is the course very hectic, or do you think the pace of the course is quite manageable?
I would say the course is hectic. I have to say, on a larger scale, the course is hectic because you have to do 8 modules, 180 credits within a year. So
Okay.
you don't even know by the time you are in second semester. Time just flies
Okay.
away.
Okay.
But on a day-to-day basis, it doesn't seem that hectic because we don't have that many lectures. We have lectures every day, but it's not such that you have 3 to 4 hours of lectures every day.
Okay.
Maybe on one or 2 days during the week you may have 3 to 4 hour lectures, but most of the times you'll just have 1 or 2 hours.
Okay.
That is the maximum time that you could have. And considering from the undergraduate courses that we come from, it is quite manageable for us on a day-to-day basis.
Okay.
Where it becomes hectic is with the coursework, with the assignments, with the amount of studying that you have to do. That is the part that becomes really hectic, I would say.
Okay. So it's
Yeah.
the time you spend outside college studying, outside classroom
Yes.
studying is where you think
Yes.
you need to put in more time.
Yeah, definitely. You have to put in, and you just have to put in a lot of time
Okay.
outside a classroom if you want to get this course done. Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
are you, I mean, as a student, did you do or are you currently doing any student jobs?
I am not currently doing any student jobs right now.
Okay.
During the beginning, since the course is so hectic, at least in electronics,
Mm-hmm.
uh, most of my classmates weren't able to. Even if we could have gotten a part-time job, we wouldn't have been able to give it time because the course is really, really time consuming with all the
Okay.
studies and everything. But you do get, you can definitely get a job here. Getting a part-time job in UK is quite easy because you have part-time recruitment agencies. Even the university offers you part-time work. I was doing part-time work for university in February, but it was related to electronics.
Okay.
And so you can also do that. I mean, you can also do work related to your own course,
Okay.
which can also count as part-time for a while.
Okay.
And you can also do work in other areas such as so there are recruiting agencies where you can go to football matches, work there,
Okay.
work in restaurants, do part time there. All of those things are very readily available and pay quite good.
Okay. So your
Yeah.
university part-time job was also a paid job.
Yeah. The university part time job was also a paid job.
Okay. But in general, how much, I mean, given, uh, say there are many students at the university pursuing their masters, do most of them
Yes.
take up part-time jobs or most of them prefer to focus more on the academics? I mean, at least at Sheffield.
At least at Sheffield, I would say, I mean, it is very subjective to the type of course you have, I would say.
Okay.
Most of the engineering students, even if they would wish to do a part-time job, they don't find the time to do it that much.
Okay.
But most of the students in other courses, such as management or courses where you don't have that much exam, we have a lot of exams, at least in electronics. So you have to study a
Okay.
bit more. But
Mm-hmm.
people who have more coursework oriented courses might find a lot more time to do a part-time job. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it is a bit subjective. It's 50-50, I would say. It's not that everyone just does a part-time. It's not that no one just gets to do. It's quite
Okay.
50-50.
And how is life in Sheffield? I mean, Sheffield is not a very big city, not maybe not as
Yeah.
big as London or any of the bigger cities. So how is
No.
it's a kind of small town, right? Sheffield.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Sheffield has its one city center, which is where the university is. So, I
Okay.
mean, at least when you pick an accommodation near the university, it feels like you're living in the city. But
Okay.
you can just walk 5 minutes away from where you live. From I am in the city center right now. You can just walk
Okay.
5 minutes away, and suddenly it's no more a city. It is
Okay.
almost a town.
Okay.
So it is like the city center is just a city, and then it is just more of a collection of towns and villages.
Okay.
It's more scenic, I would say. A lot more adventures you have. If you're into trekking, this is the place to be. This is 100 the place to be. You have a lot of natural reserves, places that you can visit, trek to. Um,
Hmm.
there's district very close by, which is like a green sort of an area of UK, and it is very famous. You have a lot of places to go there. Sheffield is the greenest city in Europe,
Okay.
so you're going to find greenery almost everywhere. The
Okay.
air is really fresh because of it.
Hmm.
And yeah, it's overall it's a mix between a town and a city. You get both the things. When it's a city, you genuinely feel that it is a city, and when it's a town, yeah, you might not even see a person for quite a while. It's that
Right. Right.
different.
Right.
Yeah.
And in coming to your future plans, I'm sure
Yes.
you must have started applying for jobs already. Do you
Yes.
have any job offers currently?
Yes. So I currently have a job offer from a leading international engineering consultancy.
Okay.
Uh, I have been hired as an electronics consultant in a graduate role right now,
Okay.
and the sectors that I'll be working in differ since it's an in international consultancy. So I will be based in the UK, but I will be working in several different sectors such as automotive, aeronautical, energy, life sciences, and so on.
Hmm.
So as an electronics engineer, I would be given projects from on a time to time basis, and I will be
Okay.
filling in the roles. Yeah,
So, and this is a job that would, so you graduate this September and then this job
I will,
starts sometime after that, October.
in October. Yeah, the
Okay.
job would start in October. Yes.
Right. So, how did you go about searching for this job? I mean, when did you actually start your job search process? And how does the
Yes.
job search process work?
Here. Yeah. So, I would just go right from the beginning. So, when you come to for the course itself,
Hmm.
they give you sort of an idea that which companies are opening the graduate roles or other job offers and so, the things like those. There are career fairs and everything.
Okay.
At least in Sheffield, they had at least in Sheffield, they had given us quite a bit of knowledge about how to go about the job process and uh, where to apply. There were career fairs which were helpful, I would say. I mean, the career fair is more of a general idea than specific to one particular course or field. So we had quite a few companies from electronics as well, which had come for the career fair in
Hmm.
November itself. So my job process actually began from November, and I mean, for any incoming students, I would definitely give the advice that start applying early.
Okay.
I mean, take your time. You'd probably come by September, take your time in October, but start looking into this by November itself,
Okay.
because a lot of the major companies such as, let's say, Siemens or Jaguar Land Rover, or companies like these which hire on a massive scale,
Hmm.
sometimes even close their graduate routes in November end or December end itself. So
Okay.
you would rather just start applying in November and December. They might take some time to respond back to you, but you have to start then itself. So even I started in November and December,
Okay.
applied to, I guess, around 15-20 companies in December itself.
Hmm.
After which I had to slow down due to because of my exams. So during January and February, I focused on my exams.
Okay.
During which time I didn't apply to many companies, maybe two or three.
Okay.
And in March, I again completely focused into applying for my jobs, because uh, I would highly suggest that during March you would just go completely into the job process, because a lot of companies are now starting to begin their interviewing processes and all of those things.
Okay.
So that is a good time. So during March, I almost applied to 50-60 companies, got a reply from quite a few of those. I would say from 7-8, I got a response back from 7-8 companies, out
That's a
of
good number
which,
actually.
yeah, I would say that is a pretty good number. I mean,
Right.
I think the time was really good, because applying in March,
Hmm.
because I mean, you should just go on LinkedIn, Indeed, Target Jobs, places like these, and you will
Okay.
just find a lot of jobs there. I would say, at least right now, looking at the situation.
Okay.
Um, and yeah, and then you'll hopefully get a response back. There's an interview process. Then each company has its own interview process, and hopefully you do get selected. Then. Yeah.
So the interview process is like, I mean, it starts with an online interview and then you have to give an in-person interview as well, or?
It can be both. So with the interviews that I have given, typically this is how the typical process goes. You would get a basic call, screening call at first.
Hmm.
They will call you on your mobile itself. So be ready for it. And they will call you. They will ask you about who you are, what do you do, would you be interested to give an interview for our companies, things like these. And once you get that, I mean, you would obviously most probably just agree if you are looking for that job.
Right.
Then if you're in an engineering if you're in an engineering role, you would first get into a technical interview. If you clear the technical interviews can are most of the times online.
Okay.
um and they are mostly an hour. So you get a technical interview, be prepared for it, and once your technical interview is done, if you are successful in that, you get to an HR interview, and once your HR interview is done, you get a final sort of a confirmation interview where you're done. So it can be online and it can also be offline. So you have to just travel to the place where the interview is, and yeah, be ready.
No, okay. So,
Yeah.
because I mean, Sheffield being a small town, I mean, I'm sure most of the
Yes.
companies that would recruit are not going to be in the Sheffield area. At least most of the, I
No,
mean, I'm just not talking about your personal thing, but in general, other
no.
colleagues or other classmates also. So most of you would have to travel for your final interviews to say maybe some. So
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Then,
So
huh, good.
no, no. So now on that note, exactly. So I had to. So the interviews are usually at like 10 a.m. and everything. So
Uh-huh.
you have to leave. And one of my interviews was in Cambridge. So you
Okay.
have to leave at 5 a.m. in the morning to reach Cambridge, like at least an hour before. So that is something that you have to just get used to. Yeah, yeah. Sorry.
Okay.
Go on.
No, so my question
Yeah.
was basically, I mean, does being in Sheffield, like being in a small town where there are not many companies around, did you ever feel that that was kind of a disadvantage in getting interviews, or maybe had you been in a bigger city, things would have been different? But I mean,
Um.
I mean, not just in your
Yeah.
case, but in general,
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
students at Sheffield feel that?
The case is that the situation with the UK is it is a smaller country.
You're right.
So and you are most of the times expecting to just relocate once your course is done.
Okay.
Because once your course is done, your I mean your accommodation is your accommodation contract is pretty much up if you
Right.
have a job by
Hmm.
then. And even if you don't have a job by then, you would move to a bigger, not a bigger city, but more of a more connected city, I would say.
Right.
And
Hmm.
the to answer the question, being in Sheffield doesn't affect it that much, because if you are getting a job before your course is getting finished, you have an idea about where you have to relocate, and then it
Right.
is just easy. The only downside I would say is that yeah, exactly, you have to travel to wherever your in-person interview would be, even if you do have an in-person interview.
Okay.
And that is the only downside I see. But being in Sheffield, or being, you could be in any place in UK and it would be fine.
Okay.
It would generally just be fine, because they don't really care about where you are from, as long as you are able to relocate to where the job would be.
Okay.
It should be perfectly fine.
Okay. So being in
Yeah.
Sheffield or being away from the industry is not really a big challenge, at least in the UK.
No, 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 no. The country is genuinely very accessible. I
Okay.
mean, it is small, so it just helps out.
Hmm. Oh, okay. Fine.
Yeah.
And then your post-study work visa also starts. Sorry, the post-study work permit that you would get would again start from September for 2 year period.
So the visa situation, as much as I understand right now, is that you would be first be given a fixed term contract if you get a job in between your student visa.
Hmm.
You would obviously apply for your PSW around December, let's say, if you have gotten your visa in July or something like that.
Uh-huh.
Your student visa would end in December or January, and that is when you would also apply for a PSW.
Okay.
After which you get a full time or a permanent contract on your PSW.
Okay.
Yeah, so that would, so till December I would have my student visa, after which I will apply for a PSW.
Okay. Fine.
Yeah,
Right. And generally, you said that you had applied to this company and other companies also through the graduate route, right?
yeah.
So so I understand that the graduate route is more like a structured recruitment program that most of the big companies have to recruit students who are
Correct,
fresh out of college.
correct. Yeah.
Okay. So in general, when you apply through the graduate route, are the, you
Mhm.
know, your terms and conditions, your salaries or packages are also very standardized, or how is it different from, you know, directly applying as without outside the graduate route?
Um, quite a bit of companies actually have their graduate salaries and terms and all of those things standardized. The terms, I would say the terms and all of those things are quite standardized. The salary is subjective. Now,
Okay.
if you are experienced, if you can really convince them that you generally have the skills that they are looking for, things like those, you give a good interview, give a good impression,
Hmm.
there's a chance that you can negotiate for a higher salary
Okay.
than the average.
Okay.
And but the general average would usually apply. They usually don't go lower than the average.
Hmm.
The only thing that you can do is go higher by convincing them properly, or displaying your
Okay.
skills correctly. Yeah.
Okay. Right. So it's not that just because they have the whole graduate route program, it's not
Uh,
that your salaries are also standardized. It's again depends on the
no.
individual
Yeah,
skill.
yeah. It depends from individual to individual.
Oh, okay, okay, fine.
Yes.
And any other advice that you would give students, especially from an engineering background coming to the UK, in terms of maybe say preparation that they should do before they actually start the university? Maybe some topic
Um,
that they should study, or anything else that in terms of preparedness, not just from an academic point of view, but anything else that if you think you would like to add.
so the first thing I would say is that if you are just coming directly from your college right now, I
Hmm.
would I would personally suggest that you don't have to study that much. What you have studied in your undergraduate is more than enough
Okay.
to suffice you in here. The concept is not that you have to understand something new. It is that you have to really work hard.
Okay.
You just have to put in the time. Most of us, most of the students, most of the engineers that we graduate from in India, that I completely butchered that statement. But the most of us engineers, we have the knowledge
Okay.
to succeed here. It is just that you have to put in the time.
Okay.
That much is enough. And what I would say, it might be counterintuitive, but what I would say is that take proper rest, have fun before you're coming here in UK, because once you're here, you really have to work. So
Okay.
enjoy your time there. Don't really stress about what I have to prepare for the next time. And on a more softer note, I would say learn cooking. That is very important.
Okay.
That is, if you know how to cook, your life is going to be really, really sorted here.
Okay.
You get everything that you want. You get in India, you get everything here. So all of those things are fine.
Okay.
Uh, make sure make sure to look after rather than just studying all the time. Also make sure that you have some time for leisure. Have a hobby, some sort of a hobby to keep your mind fresh. All of those things, those matter, because you sometimes really have to put in 8 hours, 9 hours of studying, and
Okay.
it can get quite challenging at that point. So make sure you have some hobby to just maybe play some video games or do something. But yeah, make sure you manage all of those things correctly. And
Okay.
yeah, work it out. Yeah,
Well, that was nice. Definitely
yeah,
something that would help both. I mean, your experiences while what you spoke about the job search process and the academic,
yeah.
and your things that you should probably be prepared with before you actually come to the UK. Anything else that you would
Yes.
like to add, or?
What I would like to add, I mean, on the is that I would say that now with the conception of US UK, I would say that it is definitely worth coming here. I
Mhm.
mean, if you are ready to work hard, 100%. Don't think that would I get opportunities or would it be good. It is worth coming here, given that you're ready to work for it.
Okay.
100%. That is fine. If you're a football or cricket fan, the sports community here is really great. You will have a good time here.
Okay.
And yeah, pretty much it's all pretty much fun. If any of you watching this video definitely do decide to come to UK, definitely let me know, contact me. I guess Rege sir would just give you my number at that point. But
Sure, sure,
yeah,
definitely. I mean, yeah, if someone wants
do
to
let
know,
me know. I
you
will.
definitely share it with them.
Yeah, I would definitely like to know if this video did help you.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean,
Okay.
yeah, and if you're an electronics engineer, 100% let me know. I would
Okay.
be love to get in contact with
Sure. Yeah. Um, okay, Siddharth.
you.
Thanks a lot for the conversation, and
Thank you, sir. Thank
wish
you.
you all the best. Okay, and we
Yes,
stay in
thank you.
touch.
Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Bye bye.